here in Gainesville, Florida for NCAA Baseball Regionals. The Texas Tech Red Raiders took down the Yukon Huskies 3-2, and a big reason for that, left-handed pitcher Mason Molina. Tony DeRamos grew up working games at the old Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. Now he takes his son Tyler to the games at Charles Schwab Field to cheer on the Gators. Joey, you just took the lead in the home run challenge, 15 home runs. How good does it feel?
Feels great. You got to represent Las Vegas.
6 players on the All-Star squad, the most in the league. Brian, how does it feel to have your team recognized like that?
It feels outstanding. You know, I'm happy for the guys. I'm proud of them.
I'm Julianna Reichenbach here with Sean Ross, currently leading the league in batting average. Sean, what's got you going so good right now?
Well, I have to say that it has nothing to do with me, but my teammates around me. I kind of just take the energy that they bring each and every day to the table, and they just want to get after it, grind.
And you talked about how much Mike Rivera has helped this team as a coach. What can you tell Gator fans that might not know as much about him?
Well, he's a fantastic dad. I mean, he loves his baby. He's a new father. If anybody that doesn't know that, that says all that you need to know about him. He's a family man, and he's a Florida man, so we're super excited to have him.
Up next, the Red Raiders play the winner of Florida A&M and number 2 national seed Florida. That'll go down tomorrow at 5 p.m., and Kyle Robinson will get the start for the Red Raiders. And he's not the only Ross who scouts have their eyes on. Like in the alphabet, Sean comes after Ben. Sean Ross bets the second highest clip in the league at 412. Florida football made its biggest jump ever in the polls, going from unranked to number 12. It took down number 13 Utah last Saturday, lighting up the swamp. They exploded to begin the third quarter, but the question marks stand. Kentucky quarterback Will Levis had a 46 quarterback rating. For comparison, Richardson earned a 94.8 rating. Levis was sacked 4 times, and the offensive line reshuffled throughout the game. We're not going to stay here for too long. The Gator baseball team begins practice today for the upcoming season. We'll take you to Condren Ballpark, where Gabrielle Vitale's got the scoop. That's right, Isabella. The governor signed the legislation a few days ago, and Florida and other state schools are excited about the opportunity to deal directly with their student athletes to obtain NIL deals. I talked to Strickland about the new law and what other changes he would like to see in the NIL world. And the fans continue to pile in, as you can see. For me, I too will be piling in because I got to see Trinity Thomas one last time. But for now, reporting live from the Exactech Arena, I'm Julianna Reichenbach. Back to you, Gabby. We all know the Gators came up just short at the College World Series, but the team did set a program record for wins, going 54-17. I was able to watch the action firsthand, but 2 of the most interesting people in Omaha were a father-son duo who are excited to chomp for the Gators in or out of the swamp.
There's so much history, so many great players have played here.
I met Jeff Cardozo and Mick Hubert.
I mean, it's been going on since 1950.
It's a Gator family, it's a Gator nation. I love being a part of it.
Tyler and Tony are definitely a Gator family. The father and son have been cheering on the Gators in Omaha since Tyler was a toddler.
The entirety of what we've been doing my entire life, so to do this more is just the best. It's really great.
Tony dipped Tyler in the culture. He rode the team bus and mingled with the Gators.
He's carrying a ball bag for a player, or the players bringing him in during their post-practice huddle, telling him to say Gator swag, and he's in the middle of all these college kids, and he's 8, 9, 10, and he's just digging it, you know, and being able to sit with Coach Sully on the bus, heading to practice, and being at the hotel, and they would come off the bus, and he'd be the first one there, and Sully would give him a high five and a hug.
Tyler's time with the players fostered his desire to become a sports journalist.
Not too many 4, 5, 6-year-olds that want to sit and watch a baseball game and understand and ask questions and everything. He was one of them, you know, and so it's kind of been our thing.
Tony DeRamos grew up working games at the old Rosenblatt Stadium in Omaha. Now he takes his son Tyler to the games at Charles Schwab Field to cheer on the Gators.
When our team's here, it's awesome.
Tony grew up in Iowa. One game made him a Gator fan.
They played Iowa in the Gator Bowl. Antagonistic guy I was as a kid. They beat Iowa, and I'm just like, haha, they beat Iowa. I became a Gator. Probably after that was probably 91 with Steve Spurrier. The growth of ESPN and coverage and being able to catch all Gator sports. And then now it's just, I wouldn't say an obsession, but it's pretty darn close.
Regardless of the result.
We walked out of the stadium in tears. after a loss, and he'd hug the players and say, "We'll see you next year."
And Tyler and Tony will be back next year, catching another play and capturing another memory for their record books. That's our look at sports, but don't forget there's a big soccer match tonight when the U.S. women play the Netherlands in the World Cup. Back to you, Morgan. Tiana Simmons joined the GHS weightlifting team as a sophomore.
What got me started, honestly, is I just wanted to get stronger because I was super, small and scrawny, and so I wanted to get stronger.
And she did. She competes in the 154-pound weight class. Simmons boasts a 190 clean and jerk and benches 195.
All of us in here, we empower each other. Doesn't matter what you're lifting, how light you're lifting, how heavy you're lifting, we're still gonna hype you up the same way, as if you were lifting 1,000 pounds.
Giddy up, up, up! Simmons wants to press 200 pounds at the state meet. One thing for sure, she can count on her teammates to cheer her on. Weightlifting head coach Steve Bauer has trained the GHS girls for 20 years. He inspires the message of empowerment.
I've been working with young ladies for so long, I feel that we need to make sure our young women in the world are getting everything they can.
Bauer tells the girls they are really competing against what they are lifting, not their opponents.
With softball, the teams are pretty tight-knit, but it's the relationship with other teams, you don't really get that. But here, I've made so many friends, with people from other teams. It's crazy how many people I've met and have come to be friends with.
The empowerment extends beyond the Hurricanes. Even if it's the opposition, GHS still cheers. Let's go. Thanks, guys. You can catch them at the state meet tomorrow. Back to you. The Minnesota Twins aren't just a baseball team in Minneapolis. They're also a pair of brothers for the Duluth Huskies. 6'5", lefty pitchers at that. Being identical twins gives the Edwards brothers a chance to pull pranks on their teammates. One way, tell their teammates they're not actually twins.
Do it all the time, almost every day. Most of the time on the new guys, they come in, are you guys twins? No, not at all. I've never met the guy, actually.
Huskies shortstop Christian Campbell is one of the few teammates these Minnesota Twins haven't pranked. But he sees why his Husky teammates keep falling for it.
I actually didn't know they were twins until someone else told me, because they both, one has long hair and one has short hair, so I really never paid attention to it at first.
What he does pay attention to is their play on the field. He calls the Edwards twins two of his favorite Huskies pitchers. He says they are fun, hardworking, and competitive.
Trying to be better than his last outing, and he's trying to be better than my last outing. So I know that competitive nature that we've had since childhood has been pretty good for our relationship.
When Jackson got injured back in July 2020, Caden believed in him all the way. Through Jackson's return on the mound on June 2nd, almost 2 years later.
He swings and misses. Strikeout there from Jackson Edwards.
He's the one coming off Tommy John, and he's got himself into a couple games here. We're kind of easing it into some situations that are a little more comfortable, but he had a very good appearance last time, and we're looking forward to see what he can keep doing.
We haven't been on the field together, and now we both get to play, so it's an awesome experience.
Sometimes it's fascinating watching the twins communicate, often with just facial expressions. They also know not to mess with the other twin when something goes wrong on the field.
They usually go about their business in two different areas. They don't share lockers. They try to kind of disassociate in the game just to try to become two individual people rather than one set.
They may not always stand together in the huddle, but one thing is for sure. The trash talk will continue.
I just want to add that I'm taller than him.
Because those are some serious fighting words.